Today is Friday, August 29, 2014, the 241st day of the year. There are 124 days remaining until the end of 2014. On this day in 1498, Vasco da Gama, after laying up in Calicut on the southwestern coast of India since May, finally makes up his mind to depart for his return voyage back to Portugal. Vasco, significant because he's the first European to sail from Western Europe, from Lisbon, Portugal, to Calicut, India. More importantly, not to be killed or get hopelessly lost in the attempt, and to get back to Portugal with a ship full of spices, mostly black pepper and cinnamon, as well as a bolt or two of that calico cloth we love so much. And it only takes about 2 years to do it, to get there and back, which seems like a long time. But really, it's an enormous improvement over having to walk there and back. A nice sea voyage, at one point sailing south off the African coast, south of the equator. They don't see land for 3 months. Not everybody gets back. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, he knows who he is, forgot to bring along the lemons. And half the sailors die from the scurvy. The Portuguese king, Manuel I, his people, they make a nice profit selling the spices and the calico. A huge craze blows up for cinnamon toast that continues down to today. And for about 10 years, the Portuguese enjoy a monopoly on the India spice trade. A little rivalry with the Arabs and the Venetians, who think they have it locked up. Before that, the only trade profit the Portuguese can realize is from West African gold and slaves. The spice business, a whole lot more legitimate. All kinds of regular folks who either can't afford black African slaves or have some kind of distaste for human chattel can always enjoy a nice cinnamon bun at an airport without feeling guilty. You got Vasco to thank for that. On this day in 1949, the Soviet Union tests its first atom bomb, known to the Soviets as Operation First Lightning, or to the Americans as Joe 1 for Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, at the Semipalatinsk test site, also known as the Polygon, on the desolate steppes of Kazakhstan. Well, desolate except for the shepherds and their mad sheep, but we got a couple hundred filthy high-yield nuclear weapons to blow up here. You know, after Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Stalin really has to have this thing. And since he's no longer distracted by the Nazis anymore, the Soviets can devote all their attention. Plus, they have all kinds of inside information from their man in Los Alamos, Klaus Fuchs. He's another one of those theoretical physicists they got there, instrumental in numerous breakthroughs in the problem of implosion method that leads to Fat Man, the plutonium bomb that's deployed over Nagasaki on, when was that again? August 9, 1945. Fuchs, no low-level slide rule monkey, loyalty challenge though he may be after the war, he stays on at Los Alamos. Sure he does, working on that Operation Crossroads series of nuclear tests at Bikini Atoll in 1946, passing classified information to our allies, the British, and our other allies, the Soviets. In January 1950, Fuchs is charged with espionage, put on trial where he confesses right away to being a spy. No shame. Trial lasts 90 minutes. He's sentenced to 14 years, of which he serves 9 and change, stripped of his British citizenship, and moves to East Germany when he gets out in 1959, where he continues his scientific career. To the commies, he's a hero. They give him the Patriotic Order of Merit, the Order of Karl Marx, and the National Prize of East Germany. For 40 years, between 1949 and 1989, the Soviets test their nuclear weapons out there in Kazakhstan, about 456 test shots in all. They consider the place, not counting numerous villages surrounding the test site, to be uninhabited. Of course, they don't tell anybody what they're doing there. Oh, this? It's nothing. Not to worry. And don't, God forbid, evacuate the villages. So naturally, you might notice a few minor health effects, allergies really, maybe a little fallout in the yard. Sweep up, you'll be good. Wear a hat when you go out. Besides, Kazakhstan, not especially high on your travel itinerary, although you probably can score a cheap hotel room, no problem. The test site in Kazakhstan closed in 1991. You'll probably not want to go there for the next 10,000 years or so. Seriously, don't go there. More recently, from 1996 to 2012, a joint Kazakh, Russian, and American effort secures all the waste plutonium they can find and bury it in tunnels in the nearby mountains. They got signs there, so it's pretty clearly marked. That's another place you'll probably want to avoid like forever. Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists in September 2009 reports the full impact of radiation exposure as a result of Kazakhstan atmospheric testing is hidden for many years by Soviet authorities. The general consensus consensus of health studies conducted at the site since it closed is that radioactive fallout from nuclear testing has a direct effect on the health of about 200,000 local residents. Specifically, scientists have linked higher rates of different types of cancer to post-irradiation effects. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Joseph Rotblat writes, "If the militarily most powerful and least threatened states need nuclear weapons for their security, how can one deny such security to countries that are truly insecure?" From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott speaking.